everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Boss Up with Kind and Steph. Now in today's episode, we'll be talking about something which is extremely important, particularly if you're an international student. The question of how do you get into the world's top university? For those who don't know much about me in terms of my education background, allow me to just indulge you a little bit. I did my high school actually at Naledi Senior Secondary School. Finished as the second best student in the country. Yes, I do believe I was cheated, but don't tell number one that. And I was awarded the Top Achiever Scholarship Program by the then Education Hub, which is now administered by the Botswana Department of Tertiary Education Finance. I quickly went to do my A-levels, my foundation actually. Cardiff Sixth Form College in Wales for 2 years. And then in 2014, I started my first degree, Bachelor of Sciences in International Relations at the London School of Economics and Political Science, the second best university in the world for international studies. Where I graduated, having been recognized as the second best black student in the UK. I don't know why I get up on that number 2, but hey guys, what that? And then I finished at the same institution, LSE, in Masters in Development Management. Now I know applying to the world's top university is not the easiest thing to do, and it does take a lot of guts. Now, however, I have actually helped over, I think to the best of my knowledge, 50 plus people get to the world's top university. Now let's just get straight into it. What I'm going to be talking about essentially is 5 tips to help you get into the world's top universities. Now, number 1, and is the most obvious one, you can't win the lottery before you buy a ticket, which basically means that you have to apply. Now, most of us, we always question ourselves, do we have the capability? Do we have what it takes? You're never going to find out unless you actually do apply. The second one, you need to get the grades. Simple, numbers do not lie. Now, bear in mind, you're applying to the world's top universities. They do have their minimum requirements, and some of them are really outrageous, but the truth is, everybody who's applying there is exceptional, so you do need to stand out. So if I can just touch a little bit on the UK one, since I'm quite familiar with that one in particular. I know that you need to have 2 sets of grades. So you need to have your obtained grades, which is your achieved grades. The second one is what's called predicted grades. So normally at foundation level, you apply after you've received your first year grades. And this is before your second year. So your offer actually comes on your second year, if you're following. But when you're applying, they will need to find out if you have what it takes for you to complete the whole foundation level with the grades that they have required. And actually, when you get an offer, it's called a conditional offer, which basically means that it's on the condition that you meet certain requirements. And the requirements would be if you can obtain the grades at the end of the year. Now, this is just the grades on your academics. Then you would have to sit for additional tests as well. If you're applying for law, there's some institutions that require what's called the LNET. I'm sure I'm going to leave you links to that so you can find all of the additional information on those additional tests. So that's tip number 2, get the grades. Now, tip number 3, sorry to burst your bubble, your grades are not enough. Let it sink in. Academic excellence is more than just grades. You definitely need to show that you are proactive. You are able to go outside the curriculum in order for you to enhance yourself and to gain competitive edge over other international students. In particular, what I like saying, and I was told this back in my foundation level, there's a difference between extracurricular activities and supercurricular activities. Extracurricular activities will be like your hobbies, the things you do just for your personal fulfillment and your interest. They're exciting, but they do not necessarily add value in terms of your career aspirations. Supercurricular activities, however, those are the outside interest that you'll be doing in order for you to add value to yourself, to enrich yourself and gain industry relevant skills for that particular degree. So for instance, if you're interested in being a lawyer, an extracurricular activity would be playing football or playing basketball, which I don't play that much. But a supercurricular activity would be joining the debating team, would be engaging in public speaking. That's more aligning with enriching your profile in order for you to become better at being a lawyer essentially. So you definitely need to show that you are able to display as well as social responsibilities, volunteering, you can even do work experience, which is absolutely key. Work experience helps you to gain industry experience. It helps you to know more about the degree. It elevates you as a person because you're in a better position to be well informed. You are able to interact, you're able to network as well. And this is the kind of context that will essentially help you in the future. If you're looking for an internship, if you're looking for your job entry level post. So yes, going beyond grades, I can never stress this enough. It will help you become a better international student, and more so it will help you make you unique and stand out in order for you to get into that top university of your choice. The fourth tip is actually consolidating, putting all of that down onto one piece of paper, one very important piece of paper, a personal statement. All right, now a personal statement is a piece of writing that you need to attach with your application. Now this is where you'll be outlining who you are, what you're applying for, why you're applying for it, and also demonstrating in-depth knowledge of that particular degree and possibly touching on career aspirations as well. What's also important is that you need to show a genuine interest in that particular degree. So this is where passion needs to shine. You need to demonstrate a passion for that particular cause, and how you can do that is showcasing that you are proactive. It's extremely important to show that you are well-rounded, so you're going outside the curriculum in order for you to enhance yourself and make better your application, enriching your profile. Second, you need to show that you display some leadership skills. Remember, already all these other people who you're competing with are actually applying with the minimum requirements in terms of their grades, and they have exceptional track records as well academically. Now, for you to stand out, you can volunteer. Volunteering nowadays, it's absolutely easy to do. You can do it online. There's so many platforms you can engage on. Okay, now the last tip. This one, I like saying it a lot. Be unapologetic about who you are and where you're from. Be yourself. Your life story in itself can actually make a difference. So, from what they always say, third world countries, take advantage of that. There's nothing as beautiful as a success story, and everyone wants to be a part of a success story. Again, how we define the odds, how we change narratives, how we are not defined by our circumstances, but how we overcome those circumstances. So let me just share with you my introduction to the personal statement. So here I was applying for MSc in Development Administration and Planning at the University College London. So I started off with saying, growing up in Botswana, a country deemed the best governed democracy in Africa, I learned a thriving development success story for any country is rooted in its institutional framework of good governance. In particular, I was fascinated with the works of the United Nations. Obviously, I mentioned United Nations because I'm applying for Development Administration and Planning. Having been raised in a poverty-stricken community, many of us relied on the humanitarian initiatives of the organization. This was where I wanted to be when I grew up. So now you're talking about your dreams when you were a young baby. They were inspired by the way you were socialized and the environment in which you grew up in. Taking an active role in the development of my community through inclusive grassroots initiatives. Furthering my studies at UCL in the Development Administration and Planning MSc would allow me to interact with such issues while honing my practical skills needed to plan and apply development ideas in any region of the world. So the reason why I put it like that, and it was important for me to give you an example of it, is because often at times when we're telling people, you know what, take advantage of where you're from, people would actually use it almost to make an excuse. This is not the time for you to create excuses, this is the time for you to show triumph. What they're looking for is, it was difficult at home, this is what I did to get myself out of it, this is why it's important I attend this particular university for this degree so that I can actually give back. We are not looking for a pity party. Therefore, we don't want sad stories, we want success stories. Number one, how to get into the top university. Tip number one, make sure you apply. You are not going to win the lottery if you do not buy the ticket. Number two, make sure you get the grades. It's very important. You don't necessarily have to be top in your school or top in your country, but you do need to get very good grades. Number three, think beyond the grades. We're looking for well-rounded, exceptional talent here. Everybody's going to have the grades, so you need to stand out and find ways of standing out. Number four, create an exceptional personal statement. This is where you demonstrate your passion, your knowledge, you highlight how well informed you are about the degree and your career aspirations. And most importantly, use it in a way that seems academically appealing. Be critical, exercise your analytical writing skills here. And number five, and lastly, be yourself. Be yourself. Take advantage. If they say, oh wow, he's from Botswana, make sure Botswana is a third world country, is from Africa, and yet you defined the odds and became the best person you can be. Thank you very much for watching that video. There are more to see. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Boss Up with advisable. Now, do it now. I'm watching. See you next time.